Alright, hello and welcome to the video, guys. We're going to be doing the T92 on Live Oaks today, and it's been a while since I played this game, so bear with me. I don't remember it that well, but I know I did a lot of damage, and we're going to kind of see what happens here, but I remember it was a good game, and it was pretty close and all. There's always a reason why I save it, right? So, also, just there we go, finally I got it. For some reason that gets so glitchy. I know one person recommended I leave this default, so I try and always put it on the default mode, but like it never wants to go to the default mode. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I kind of picked this new area. So check this out, right? I picked this new area. A lot of people like to go here. I get aggressive now and I try and make this work. If it's in the T92, even 90, some kind of tank that has like 40+% concealment, I would say, I come down here, and when you're in the water, you know, this actually protects you a little bit because you can get pretty deep here, and this terrain will block you. You can see how it's like kind of a hill here if you look like this, right? And then I knock this tree, and sometimes I'll knock this one too. And what this does is it allows you to spot people like in this corner or this corner, depending on where you are. Like you can move back and forth like this. And then if you have a small tank like the T92, this grass will even provide some concealment and stuff like that. And then if you really want to get daring, you can try and knock this tree, but you got to be careful because you don't want to get spotted. But you can also get shots, like if you back up enough, you can get shots going this way too, towards people in this area. And you can just play around with it. You got to be careful because if you get lit, like, you know, you just have to be careful. I don't think I have to fully explain that. Like, it's not the safest area. You don't have like tremendous amounts of hard cover, but if you play around with the bushes here, you can get certain shots off, and you can get certain angles to spot people. It's just a really good area, in my opinion, unless you have an even 90, like try and challenge you here or something. But it works for me. So I set up here, I kind of knock this tree, and I sit here, and you can take shots, right? Like I see the even 90 and the T92 over here, so I'm like, cool, I can shoot because they're not going to spot me. And then I come over this way, and look, I have shots kind of at the Emil. I have shots kind of at the BZ, and I don't know if I even take them, like if I even bother, but you can spot people at least coming this way so that people that are pushing this way on your team, like up here, have an idea of what's coming, right? I like to at least try to, I'm just gonna let this run while I talk. I like to at least try to give people an idea of what's coming their way, right? So here we have the T92. I'm able to get 2 shots into him, not even spotted because of the way the bushes are here. And yeah, the thing is with this game is even if you spot someone, right, you could spot people and not get any spotting damage, but you have to keep in mind, if you're spotting someone on the map, like even if I spotted this Tornwagen or something, at least the IS-3 and the Chrysler K, if they're smart enough, could look on the mini map or the maxi map, and they could look at, oh, okay, Tornwagen's coming, you know, got to be careful, or T28 is going to be here. Like they have an idea, right? It gives people an idea. So now you can see on the map, we were able to spot like 3 people coming this way. So immediately this guy goes, look at the mini map, the AMBT. He looks like a pretty good player, but he's not wrong. Like, look at this, man. Look at the mini map. Like, look at what's coming. Like, look at all this, man. So it's something to keep in mind. Like, even if you spot people and do no spotting damage, again, I said this in a previous video. You don't want to YOLO scout, but if you're able to spot people and no one does anything about it, at least they're still spotted on the map. You know. They'll go dark, but then you can still see them. Like, oh, T28 was here, Tornwagen was here. I know this is very obvious, but I feel like it's worth mentioning, guys, that even just initial spots can be very important for your team. And in this case, I think they were, because this team knew much quicker than they would have if I wasn't here that, holy shit, like, look at all the people that are coming from the east and south side of the map, right? So now take a look at where this spot becomes an advantage. If you lose this east-south portion of the map, look at all these shots that I have, man. Like, I have shots at the Borisk, I have shots at the T103, because these guys have to cross this little area here, where I'm going to have shots at all of them, right? So I now have shots at 4 different tanks, and I'm like, who the heck am I going to shoot at? I'm like, all right, well, these shots aren't really going to go in. Let me take shots at the T103, so I start taking shots at the T103, and luckily that guy doesn't spot me when I shoot. But yeah, you can play around with the bushes here. But what's more important to note is, I know that there's no one in this area. Like, if there were people in this area, this could be a potential problem. There are a lot of trees here, so, you know, maybe not, but if someone was sitting like in here, like a light tank was in this bush or something like that, you would be spotted here. So that's why I said you at the beginning, you kind of have to play around with the foliage over here, you know, with the tree, but you can get it so that you're solid bush or solid grass here and sort of play around with it. You can see I'm kind of trying to do that now because I know that I'm safe because there's nobody over here behind me. So it's really just the front of me that I have to be concerned with. So I'm going to get shots from the car in there. I'm making sure I'm not lit. I'm not. And yeah, this becomes a very, very vital area for me to be in because I'm spotting everybody as they're coming through as well. So we didn't get the spot there quite on the Iron Arty, but I'm able to get a shot into the UDES as he's coming through here. I am spotted there, and now I just have to be kind of cautious here. I'm watching to make sure no one is really aiming at me, and I'm going to try and get behind this mound and just protect myself as good as I can. Luckily, I don't get shot because, again, like I said, I know I'm free, you know, behind me. I don't have anything to worry about, at least not right now. But now there's really no one over here, so this could become a potential problem. But I just like to note all these things because a lot of times, like, when you guys are watching other YouTubers, they might not mention these things. Like, watch out behind you because there's no foliage, right? So you just got to be careful. Like, sometimes these plays will work in certain situations and not in others. So I like to show you guys where it's going to work and where it isn't. So UDES is here. I'm trying to get one more shot into him. It's not so easy. This guy's kind of bouncing up and down and flying through the water and stuff. But should be able to get a shot to him here. I'm able to hit that one. And this makes him like a one shot to the TDs, so that's very important. Trying to get a shot into the bore here. Not really going to happen. I think I get another one to the UDES here. We're able to clean him up. There we go. Conj comes up, and look at that. He's getting wrecked. I'm able to get the cleanup kill on him. And see how important this position becomes, man? Like, I'm telling you, I would really check this spot out, guys, if you haven't. Really check it out because a lot of people like to come up, like I said, to like this building, but try this. You know, you never know. It might work out really well for you. And that's mostly what I wanted to share with you guys, is just take a look at this area. Now, here's where the game is pretty much coming to a close, but watch how I do this. I actually come up this way, and I know the Tornwagen and the T28 are behind this mound here. So this is how I'm able to get these kinds of shots into these guys. I flank them, and I come from behind them instead of just going straight after them, right? And that kind of gives me those shots there. And now the Tornwagen has to back up this way, right? So this is forcing the Tornwagen to back up this way, and now the AMX might have shots in it, right? LT432 might have shots. Arty has cleaner shots. So we're going to come to the Tornwagen. The game's going to be over here. Get a little more spotting there, a little more damage, whatever. And that's the game. We did 2,330 damage, 1,050 spotting, and yeah, a fun game indeed. And I can't emphasize enough, check this area out, guys. You might have a really good game in a light tank if you try out that spot, because I did in this game. And like I said, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't work. Every situation is different. That's what makes World of Tanks fun. No game is the same. Some games are very close to the same, but they're not. And this one worked out in a way where this area in the middle, wherever I was, like right here, right, became very, very, very powerful. So there you go. Let's get a thumbnail here. Let's try something. I think that looks pretty good right there. Let's back out, and I will show you guys the end plates, and then I'm going to get into a light tank lineup video. I think I'm going to do a live session after this. So here we go. This is a second class game. 2330 damage, 1050 spotting. We are second by experience. AMBT had a very good game. 4 kills, 2 kills for me. And yeah, this team like played pretty well. We had 3 people do 0 damage, but I think overall like a good amount of us shared the damage. And again, this is what I mentioned in the last video. If you have a team that kind of shares damage like this, likely it's just better, right? Because you're getting more use out of more people, and it's not just like a carry. To me, it makes it seem like the team was well balanced, right? If you get that. So it's just something to note. I am currently averaging 990 damage in this tank, by the way, 57% win rate over 40 battles, and look at the concealment on this thing. So I have a good amount of concealment here, almost maxed, but look at this, almost 43%, and that's with standard low noise exhaust. So that's where this tank is really shining in an area like that, because you're even getting 10% after firing. So I think that's why it was so effective. You know, that spot I was in. It plays very well for the T92. Now, if you've gotten something like the T37 there, maybe it might not work as well. It's more for a passive scout. So just, it's something to keep in mind, right? You might want to be careful going there if you're in a really big light tank or something like that that doesn't have as much concealment. So let me get into the detailed report here. We did make almost pretty much 200K after all was said and done with the credit reserve. And yeah, look, almost all this damage was from 300 plus meters, and 16 out of 16, we'll take that. And again, a lot of videos that I have that showcase a lot of damage is usually because a lot of my direct hits were also pens, right? So another thing to note, the gun depression is actually pretty good on this thing. I never noticed that, and the aiming time is really good too. So this is a good tank, man. I mean, obviously Wargaming always makes their premiums a little bit better than, you know, your standard tanks, but yeah, it's more than like honestly, I didn't expect the T92 to be this good. I will say though, I haven't played this vehicle a lot because I don't know, since I got the T71 Da, I've been playing that a lot. And if I want to make credits, I usually play like the LT432 or the Even 90. So both this and the 1375, I really haven't been playing that much. But this is a very good tank, guys. So I would recommend it. And again, CVS in the scouting slot, always run that, man. Trust me. It's just better that way. You'll have a better performance in a light tank if you throw CVS into your scouting slot. All right, guys, that's it for the T92. And the view range is also really good on this thing. Like, look at the view range, man. Check this tank out, guys. Like, it's really powerful, man. It's a really, really, really good tank. So, T92, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you for the next one. Bye-bye now.